Hey traders, John Howell here. Isn't that just gorgeous? Look at that from there. Isn't that just gorgeous? Anyway, I want to do this video for you guys. We are roughly we'll be halfway through the year right now. And I want to give you a journey of my, say, 6 months of this year and mistakes that I've made and some lessons and how my trading's gone myself and what's really happened for me this year. And why trading the market this year has been quite challenging, right? And it's really tested my emotional strength, right? There's been a lot of times where I've had to really control my emotions when it comes to the market, and just make really good decisions in the market, right? And not let some short-term movement shake me out. So I want to do this video for you, okay, because I just want to open up about my personal trading this year and what I've done this year myself. So initially what ended up happening was I have a group that I attend to every single day, and I coach every single day. If you're interested in joining that coaching group, it's actually the 1% Club. We're actually part of the 1% Club. The 1% Club is most traders in that group are part of the 1% of all traders around the world. If you're interested in joining that, if you go to getjohnshelp.com, that's an application form. If you fill that out, you and I can have a good chat, and we can see if you're a good fit to join the 1% Club. Now, one of the things that the reason why I brought that up in there is because when the whole tariff thing was happening this year, right, and the market was going down, one of the things that I've learned so many times is that I see it happening. Let's go down here, right? I see it happening at least once a year. I see this scare moment in the market, right? And it's because I've been trading the markets now for 20 years. You start to see patterns repeat, right? All these patterns repeat in the market. And so, like, the thing for me was, I've started to see this thing time and time again. And what is that? The market corrects, right? So first thing that happens, market corrects. And this happens at least once a year that I've noticed. Sometimes twice a year, but most of the time it's once a year. Sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it does at least once a year. So what is this repetitive pattern? Most of the time, it is market corrects 10, 15%, maybe more, right? Fear and greed index pings to the whole fear, right? Then obviously the noise in the market, because there's signal and there's noise. Signal is, what's the chart telling me? What's the market telling me? And then we make a decision on there, right? So that's signal. Then there's a lot of noise behind that. Now remember, when it comes down to trading, when it comes down to the markets, the talking heads and YouTube is going to be on fire with the red and the crash, and here we go, it's all over, blah blah blah, right? And the noise from the media and so on and so forth, remember, the media, especially the media, they are there to what? They are there to respond to what the market has done, not what it's going to do, right? So as you know, fear sells, fear grabs your attention, people are worried about what's going on, right? So the people that haven't been involved with these markets for a while, they haven't really experienced what they experienced at the start of this year, right? And so, but the thing for me, right, is I've seen this thing time and time again. This is one of the reasons why I really, really, really suggest you guys get some coaching. If it's me, if you guys resonate with me, again, go apply for my coaching, getjohnshelp.com. Or if it's not me, but someone else, get some help, right? Because it's when times like this can really help you in coaching and guide you down this path. So the whole thing about when all that was happening, that was for the first 2-3 months of this year, right? When that was happening all this year, I've seen that thing time and time again. Again, I've been trading the market for 20 years, right? And so, like, I've seen this story play out. And so when it happened, again, what is the story? Most of the time, market corrects 10, 15%, maybe more. Fear and greed index pings the people's fear, right? Put options, people are buying more put options than call options. Again, all over YouTube, that's it. The crash is in, the crash is big, the crash is starting, and the talking heads, and then the media, and all that noise happens. And so at that time, guess what? I was actually with my 1% club, my 1% group that I'm with every day. I was telling them, guys, this is an amazing buying opportunity right now. This is an amazing buying opportunity. And so, like, the thing for me is I started to get involved with, I chose Tesla at the time. Now, what I did with Tesla is I did bought Tesla, but I bought Tesla call options at the time, right? And the reason why I chose Tesla at the time of the call options was because Tesla was smashed for like 50% or more on a stock price. Plus, also at that time, that's when, you know, the talk was about Elon Musk and the cars getting burnt and people hating on him and all this sort of stuff, right? Like that's what was happening through there. So the whole thing about what happened there was I knew at the time that, once again, I hope you guys can learn from this, right? So the best thing you can do is learn from what happened this year. So at the time, I knew the market was going to bounce up again, right? I didn't know how much, but I knew we're going to at least get a nice good bounce out of that soon. So at the time, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go, instead of getting the S&P 500, I'm going to go buy a stock that is absolutely at its worst, right? So I want you guys to think about this when it comes to the next time this happens, because again, it's going to happen again. What did I do? I went in with Tesla, right, which was probably the wrong decision, by the way. I went in with the call options, and I went in with a big position. We got a little bit of a bounce there, and I didn't lose any money. I got out literally basically break even on that trade. I was in it for a month, and it really just found a bottom, and I got out, and then the thing just rose. I should have just bought the S&P 500, right? I didn't take advantage. I took advantage of that, but I should have just bought the S&P 500. So that was a mistake of mine. My equity curve was pretty flat, and then bam, had spikes. But then it came back down to break even because of what was happening with the call options. So when it comes down to that, I really want you to be thinking about that when it comes down to the next time this happens, because it's going to happen again. Noise and signal, okay? And this is where, like, I really want to encourage you to think about this next time this happens, because it's going to happen. Right? It may even happen next month. Meaning, like, we may get a 10% or so correction next month, which I'm expecting soon. I'm expecting that to come soon, right? The market's at all-time new highs, and things are moving, things are grooving. You know, fear and greed index right now is at its highest it has been in the last 12 months. There's a lot of greed in the marketplace, so I'm expecting a little bit of shake and bake. Shake and bake means I'm expecting a little correction. So if the market does correct, say 8%, 10% more over the next month or two, guess what's going to happen? Right? That's going to be what? That's going to be a good buying opportunity, right? People are going to be fearful and so on and so forth. But that's always the best time to buy. So I made a big mistake on just not being patient enough when it comes to, I took advantage of buying the bottom, and a lot of my coaching clients did actually quite well from that because they just held on a bit more. But I took advantage of that, but I should have just bought the actual stock market itself, the SPY, and bought call options, because I bought call options on Tesla. Again, I didn't lose any money, but I should have bought call options there. So, and so then, yeah, again, so I didn't lose any money from there. So that was a big mistake of mine. So the reason I'm saying that to you guys is that if you want to take advantage of the markets when that sort of happens, well, firstly, I'm just trying to guide you down the path of when that happens again, please remember what I'm saying here, right? Because this happens all the time. And I'd have to say at least 80, most of the time when you get these corrections, they don't turn into full-blown big crashes and bear markets. Not right now anyway, not with all the printing going on. All right, so that's the first thing I do say when it comes down to that. Now, what's happened after that when it comes down to my trading, and I'll just do this here. Isn't that just gorgeous? Look at that. Woo. Let me go sit down here as I'm doing this video for you guys. So that was obviously the first 3-4 months of this year, right? And I actually had a pretty quiet month when it comes down to my actual trading. A pretty quiet sort of 3-4 months when it comes to my trading. I had a good trade at the start of this year that I actually got in at last year, and I was in it for about a month or so, and I made 170% return on that. So that was actually quite good. Let me just go down to here. So that was quite good, but yeah. So what has happened with my own personal trading, and I'm so grateful for the way that I trade, is that because I'm more of a swing trader, because I'm more like a sniper approach swing trader, where I'm not looking to active trade. Active trading this year, meaning you're very active in the markets, people be getting destroyed this markets. And so therefore, like for the first 3-4 months of this year, at the start of the year, I had a successful trade, 170% return on my investment. Then I had that Tesla thing that happened at the start of the year as well too. And again, I bought the fear, I bought the bottom. I just wasn't patient enough, and so on and so forth. And then it was pretty quiet for a couple of months. And then around it's July now, July, June, May, around May, that's when things started to pop off again for me, meaning like things started to happen again for me. And I had Groupon trade that did 300% return. I had Platinum trade that did 250% return. I had ZBH that was also a small loss of 30%. Now this is on investment, right, guys? This is on investment. You know, I've had an Ethereum trade recently as well too. That did like, I'm actually still in it right now. That's actually right at 500% return on my risk in the markets, not on margin, but on the risk on that trade there. And so I'm in that there, and then I'm also in 2 trades right now. And I'm just really, really, really grateful for them. But the best thing that's been sort of helped me this year when it comes to my personal trading, and again, if you look at so far anyway, if you look at my entire year, I had one trade at the start of the year that gave me 170% return. Then I had my Tesla trade that gave me a break even. I was in that for about a month or more, and I'm just like, I'm out of this. I got out of it, so I break even on that one. I didn't lose any money on that one. Then I had Platinum 300% return. I had Groupon 250% return. You know, and then there's all the Groupon, and then I had ZBH, which was I think it was the 30% loss on that one there. Ethereum's a nice profitable trade, and I'm in 2 trades right now, and then I closed. So my success rate's been massive. My success rate's been high. I think there was one trade that I took at the start of the year also that was a small loss as well. So if you look at all that, that's like what? Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of 8 trades, I've had 2 losses, and the rest were profits. And the losses were like 20-30%, and the profits have been like 200%, 500%, you know, that sort of stuff there. And the reason why I'm saying this here is it's actually been a saving grace for me this year on the way that I've personally been trading, and that's been getting into trades and being okay with being in it for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. You know what I mean? And that's been the best type of that's what's actually allowed me to do really well, you know, every single year. And this year I'm having a really good year this year. I haven't been trading a lot. Like if you think about it, right? Like what's that? Maybe 8 trades, two of them actually, three of them I'm actually still in right now. I think it is roughly around that anyway. I'm just trying to on top of my head. But that's not a lot of trades for like what? We're in the 7th month of this year. But my account is very, very, very nicely in the green. You see what I'm saying here? So the best thing that I can say is, since changing the way that I trade the market and not day trading or intraday trading, I'm looking to get into this trade and hold it for a month for a big profit. But I'm not trading a lot. That has been the key for me to actually getting ahead in the markets and having a big profit at the same time. Makes sense? And so, again, I'm just being honest a bit with you about my personal trading and how it all went. The first 3-4 months of this year was pretty flat and pretty ordinary. And then we've had some really nice trades here. But one thing I've also noticed about the trades that I've been in is the day I get into them, they have instantly gone against me. Like I got into Ethereum, and when I got into Ethereum, it went against me for about a week. Now my management said stay in, and then the thing just took off, right? So there's been one thing I've noticed a lot about my trades this year is that as soon as I've gotten into the trade, I've had to be patient for about a week, and then the real big move has started from there. And that's been my trading this year so far. It hasn't been a lot of trades, but the trades I've been getting into, I've been holding on to for, on average, for about a month, right? But that month has equaled really big results and big returns. And the thing is, by me doing that, that's allowed me to not trade a lot, so I haven't been really stressed, but it's also allowed me to take advantage of these opportunities that are becoming in the marketplace. And this is the only way that I believe this is the only way that I've been able to get ahead in the markets, is by trading this style in the markets. Now, the hardest thing about trading the way that I trade is, just like I said before, the first 3-4 months of this year, I think there's like maybe one trade in 3-4 months, right? So sometimes you might go through these seasons where you might not get a lot of trades. And that's the hard part, right? That's the hard part about trading, is that when it comes down to that. And a lot of people want a lot of trades. I have just learned that, as I said, I go through seasons of quietness, and I was really happy that I was pretty patient through those first 3-4 months of this year, because the last, July, June and May, since then, like right now, since May, it's been Groupon. So I've had Groupon, Platinum, I had this ZBH, which was a loss, Ethereum, which has been a real big profit for me, and I'm in 2 trades right now. So there's been a boom, an explosion. And this is the way that I've actually learned how trading really works, right? Is you have your edge, you have some sort of system that you follow. And once again, the reason why I love trading the way that I trade is because it allows me to identify trades that's likely to have a big move. And if it doesn't, I can get out with a small loss. If it does, I can get out with quite a nice profit there. But since understanding the cycle of how the year goes in real terms, and this is where trading for income per week is not generally a good idea, for me anyway. The first 3-4 months of this year, really quiet. My edge didn't appear, my system didn't appear. Right? I think maybe once or twice, and then I had that Tesla trade as well too. But because I was pretty patient through that time and understanding that things go in cycles, right? We have to have down times. Then when suddenly things became active and I started getting a lot of good trades, I took advantage of them, and things have really grown from there. So this is me, guys, just opening up about my own personal trading this year. It's been a lot more challenging this year in a result of I've really had to incorporate a lot more patience. Patience outside the markets, meaning waiting for the good trades, has been, I think there's many weeks when I've just lined up and no trades, every day for like a couple of months and no trades. But I'm pretty sure you guys know, right? And the one thing I've learned is that if nothing meets my trading plan, nothing meets my trading system, I really can't take it, because I've just learned, apart from the whole what happened with the tariff thing, right? That's sort of my sort of 10% type of trading. But I've just learned that if I really go down the path of, like, I have a plan that works and my system works, right? And all I need to do is just be patient for that. And if that means there's no trades for 2 or 3 months there, isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Woo. If that means there's no trades for 2 or 3 months, then there's no trades for 2 or 3 months, right? But then I do know, just like the seasons in life, if that's a quiet season, after that, just like the last 3 months, been very active, and I've had a lot of trades, and again, out of all the trades, Groupon, Platinum, ZBH, Ethereum, and I'm in 2 trades right now. Out of all those, there's only 1 loss, and that was a small loss, and that was 30%. See what I'm saying here? And I'm so grateful that I was patient through that time there. So anyway, traders, that's a little update of my personal trading, just being raw and honest with you guys about my trading this year. Again, I'm still in 2 trades right now, so we'll see how that goes. I've just gotten into those trades, so I'm probably going to be in them for a month. You guys probably know what they are. I've been talking about that when it comes down to the stuff on YouTube. And hopefully some things I've talked about here is going to help you. Firstly, when that once a year type of variant happens, market corrects, noise starts to say, fear crash, fear and greed index, that's generally a good buying opportunity. But also, hopefully, my video has really helped you through my pain of not understanding this, that generally through the year we go through cycles when it comes to your system. And that is, there's going to be active months, there's going to be a lot of times where there's going to be many months where there's going to be some really good opportunities. And there might be many months in a row where it's actually very quiet, there's not been opportunities. And it's that time to say, I can't trade right now.